Today we're going to talk about niching or not. So stay tuned. How's it going? If you don't know who I am, I'm Cindy Krause with Krause House Sift and Thrift, and this is my friend. I've brought her out before, but I love her so much. She keeps me company in my office while I'm working. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing great. I am doing well. I'm feeling good, and the sales have been coming in. They're not super consistent, but from what I've heard of other people, that's par for the course. It's just, when you got a bad economy, that's the way it goes. People are watching their money, they're frugal, they're budgeting. They don't want to spend $20 on one of your items when they could spend $10. It used to be the lowest price I would sell something for was like $9. Now it's like $5 to $7. And I only go that low if I've had the item a while and I just want to get rid of it. It's tough offers nowadays. I get a few, like you probably do too, like all of us, more than we used to, because like I said, people are watching their money, and it's, I get an offer on an item I just listed, and it's like, maybe it's $5 or more off of what I had listed for, and it's like, do I really want to do that? Or do I hold out? Do I take the offer now, or do I hold off for more money? And, I would say more times than not, you, and meaning me, should take the offer, because there have been times I've regretted it. It's like, I didn't take the offer, and here the item is sitting there a year or two later not selling. And if I'd only taken the offer. But it all depends what you paid for the item, what the item is worth, what the profit margin you need to make on that item. So it's all up to you and your business and you and your numbers. But I would recommend you take all reasonable offers, most offers, because people are not going to pay up. My average sales cost has gone way down, and I'm not getting those big sales like I used to. So I'm just happy to get sales. I've been, the most I'll get is 10 a day, and then it's been slowing down to like 2. So I haven't been consistent with listing, though. I've been working on other projects. If you guys don't know, I'm an author. I would show you, let me show you my books. Hold on. Okay, these are covers I've been working on. So these are covers in progress. I've changed this cover. I have had several different covers. These are books I've written years ago. I think 2010 is when I wrote this one, or 2012 maybe. And I make these covers on Canva. I do my own covers, and I make them, and then when I get the actual copy, I realize, ooh, he looks green. It's tough to see it when you're not seeing it on the cover. You're just looking at it on a screen. So I ordered these covers. I've made a ton of changes. I changed colors on not only his skin tone, but colors of the font. So I'm waiting to get my author copy. This is actually just a copy like anybody would buy on Amazon. The author copy says like, not for sale, proof only. It's a proof copy basically. And that's actually not in my first book. Let me show you my first book. Steamy cover, you guys. Here it comes. Ooh. And I've changed this, same graphic, the same pictures of this sexy couple. And I've made the font smaller, and it doesn't need to be like all over the front like this. I've made this smaller. So I'm waiting to get my author copies. And when I get those, I'll show you guys the covers. But these are the backs. So this is my first book that I wrote in 2010. And it's not a super fat book, like 268 pages. It's a basic book. It's a romance book, just between a rock star and a lingerie designer. She works like at a place, not Victoria's Secret, but something like it, Veronica's Closet. And that's my version of Victoria's Secret. And I'm pretty proud of this. It's a pretty good read. If you guys want to check out Fire in the Mix by Cynthia Morgan, that's my pen name. I didn't want to use my real name. So Cynthia is my real name, but Morgan is not my real last name. And at the time, I had a different last name than I do now. So if you want to look it up on Amazon, Fire in the Mix by Cynthia Morgan, you'll find it. I think I have it for $9. And that's only so I get some kind of money when they sell. It's like such slim margins. You really don't make that much money. Maybe I should be reducing the prices. I might be doing that. It's kind of high for this book. I think I will do that. I'll reduce the prices on these. And then this one, I showed you this one. This is the first in a series of 3. And I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but after I read 50 Shades of Grey, I was like a lot of the world, just loving it. And it wasn't for me the sex or the bondage. I'm really not into that. It was the love story, just like the Twilight books. For me, it was the love story that I loved. I'm not into vampires, but I love the love story. And I don't know if you know, little trivia, E.L. James, who wrote the 50 Shades of Grey 50 Shades of Grey books, she was inspired by Stephanie Meyer, who wrote the Twilight books. And she wrote like a fan fiction book based on Twilight. And then she came out with the 50 Shades of Grey books. And they're somewhat similar in the characters, but really not. Bella and Edward from Twilight are much more innocent. Well, Anna was an innocent before she met Christian from 50 Shades of Grey. And the books are excellent. Both of them, Stephanie Meyer's Twilight books and E.L. James 50 Shades of Grey books. They're both excellent writers. So I appreciate good writing. So I did loosely base my characters on 50 Shades of Grey. There is no bondage. There is some sex. My sex scenes are very brief. I was reading this one book and her sex scenes are about 20 pages. And I'm like, it's a bit much. No, it's too much. She describes every little detail and it's like, okay, TMI. So anyway, that was the first one. This is the second one. I have changed this cover like 3 times. Aubrey and Xander are the characters. His name's Alexander, but she calls him Xander. And then she's Aubriana, that is Aubriana, but she goes by Aubrey, so. That's the character names. She kind of looks like a surfer chick. I've changed the cover, and when I get the new books, you guys, I'll show them to you. And then the third book is called The Eyes. Okay, The Eyes of Alexander, that's him. The Eyes of Aubriana, that's her. The third one is the two of them together, so it's The Eyes of Always. So they're always together. And unfortunately, I was in the middle of writing that book when I met John in 2015. And I really wish I'd finished that book before I met him, because as you probably know, when you fall in love and start dating someone, you want to spend most of your time with them. So I was over at John's house all of the time, or he was at mine. And that kind of fell by the wayside. I started it, I think, in 2014, and I'd only gotten like a couple of chapters written, and it's been tough because I wrote these 2 books, all 3 of the books that I just told you about that I wrote, not The Eyes of Always, but Fire in the Mix. The Eyes of Alexander and The Eyes of Aubriana, I wrote those super quick. They like flowed out of me. I wrote them, I don't know, within a week. And then the rest was just editing, rereading them, how other people reread them, editing. Because when you publish your own books, you have to do all the editing. You have to do all the formatting. And formatting can be a nightmare. So anyway, I was proud that I got these books out. But The Eyes of Always, which I called it The Eyes of Contentment before, but I changed it. And unfortunately, that just went by the wayside. Here we are. John and I have been together 7 years, married over 5, and it's still not done. I'm on chapter 10. So the bad thing is I got out of the flow. So now it's like pulling teeth for me to write it. And I do it in between eBay and YouTube videos. And when I feel like it, honestly, most of the time I'm not in the mood for it. But I'm going to do it. That is a goal of mine, to get that published. So I'm going to get it done. Even if it takes to 2024, I will get it done. Because I want that series to be complete. And I don't feel like it's going to be as good as the other 2 books, but I'm doing my best. So that will be, I don't know when I'm going to get that published. I'm only on chapter 14 or 15. And I usually have about 20 chapters. So I'm actually about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way done. So that's good. But then once you're done writing it, is a lot of editing. You just have to reread and reread these books. It's crazy how the brain works. I must have read this book 20 times at least, maybe more. And I would have somebody else read it and they catch a typo that I never saw. Your brain skips over words. It's like I'm supposed to have the, and I put him or it or whatever, or it skipped a word altogether. And I'm like, I've read that. How did I miss it? But that's why if you write your own books, you have to have somebody, or somebodies is better, to read them too. So I've had John help me. Before, I had my Aunt Carol help me. And so you guys, that's coming. And if you want to look up these books on Amazon, The Eyes of Alexander. And this time I went with it was my real name at the time. I was married to a man with the last name of Batten. So Cynthia Batten, Batten. So I changed from Cynthia Morgan to Cynthia Batten. And that was my real name at the time. So you'd be searching The Eyes of Alexander by Cynthia Batten, or The Eyes of Aubriana by Cynthia Batten. The Eyes of Always is not on Amazon because it's not finished. All right, I digress, you guys. I didn't mean to be talking about that, actually. All right, so this is my jewelry. Just wanted to show you really quick. I started selling bundles. My second website, I changed the name to Bundles and Beach. It was Bundle Jungle Booty, which is a mouthful, but I changed it to Bundles and Beach, and I'll put the, my little banner up on the screen so you guys could see it. And these are my lots of jewelry, and I just keep this in my office. Okay, but I really wanted to talk about niches today. Niches or niches? Gosh, I've heard it both ways, and I know a lot of people struggle with it. To niche or not to niche, or to niche or not to niche. I have decided to niche or niche down. I'm just going to say niche. I think it sounds better. I'm going to say I've decided to niche down. I didn't think I was going to do that. I've been to everything seller since day one, since 2001. And it's good to start as an everything seller when you're first starting out. But a lot of people niche or niche down. Oh gosh, I think I'll be saying both of them. And it's just a lot easier. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. When you're listing, let's say you're just selling shoes. Listing is going to be quick. You just grab the shoe. You already know what item specifics. Well, item specifics vary from shoe to shoe. But you know what to say. You know your description. You know how to do. If you're going to do measurements, I don't really do measurements on shoes other than heels. It's going to be quick because you already know what you're doing. You're just doing one thing. Yeah, if you're doing a shirt and shoes and a belt and a scarf and a crock pot, or a VCR. And that's the kind of stuff I've been selling. It is tougher because sometimes you need to research. Let's say with these shoes, you've already sold these shoes before. You don't need to research. You already know what to sell them for, what they sold for, so you've already got the price. So I was kind of bucking the system. I was like, I like being an everything seller. I don't want to niche down. But I changed my mind because in Daily Refinement, on Chris from Daily Refinement, he's the one who he got into my head first when he was talking about doing that. I was like, oh, I don't really want to. And Danny Ackerman, the niche lady, she's also talked about niching down, how it's just better for your business. It's just easier. And like I said, I didn't want to do it for a long time, but now I decided I want to do it. It's going to be tough because I have 15 or so bins of hard goods downstairs, and I've got 29 of clothing. But I'm going to continue with the clothing. So I'm trying to narrow it down. I don't want to sell everything under the sun now. I want to do clothing, of course, because that's the most prevalent thing to find. Most people can find clothing no matter where they live. And whether that means, locally in a thrift store or ordering it up from eBay or Amazon or pallets or bundles or whatever. And clothing's just easier. And I enjoyed selling clothing, although it does take longer than some hard goods because you have to do all the measurements. So, and sometimes you have to steam. I do steam. That's my steamer right there. And I use it quite a bit because I don't want to list wrinkled clothing. It doesn't look good. So I steam all the time. So listing clothing just takes longer. That's just the way it is. So, but I don't mind selling it or listing it. And I've sold quite a bit of it. All right, so then shoes. I'm not a huge fan of shoes. It's okay, but I don't like cleaning them. I try not to get the really dirty ones where you have to clean them. I know I've seen people do that. They have techniques for cleaning shoes, but I don't love it. So if I buy shoes, I try and buy shoes that are mostly clean. I don't clean bottoms. Everybody has dirt on the bottom of their shoes. I'm not going to clean that. Now, it's caked on mud, of course I would, but I'm not going to go clean all the nooks and crannies and crevices on the bottom of shoes. Everybody knows shoes are dirty on the bottom. And I have to say, I don't sell a lot of shoes. Shoes tend to sit for me. I'm not going to be selling high-end sneakers. I know that's what sells for a lot of people. That is not what I like doing. I sell a lot of women's shoes. I just listed some high-heeled wedge sandals. Cybeka. I got these at, John and I went to Goodwill the other day, and they had half off blue tag. So I looked at the shoes, and I got 3 pairs, and they were like wedge sandals. I'll put the picture on the screen. And one was really cute. It was like Cybeka. I have those at 35, I think, between 30 and 35. And they're this bright gold color. And the other one's like a really cool multicolor strap wedge. So back to the niche. So clothing, men's and women's clothing. I enjoy selling men's clothing. And a lot of time men don't mind paying up for a clothing item. And some women do, but a lot of them don't. So, but I enjoy selling men's and women's clothing. I don't like selling pants. I will sell shorts. Don't enjoy selling my pants. And I'm trying not to sell any more skirts. Those really sit for me. And I'm trying not to sell very many dresses. So it's mostly tops, shirts, blouses, that kind of thing. And sweaters. And same with, men would be shirts or sweaters. I'm trying not to do a lot of button-down shorts. It just takes a lot of time to button them. And, but I do sell them. Men's and women's clothing and shoes. And I enjoy selling sunglasses. So when I find them in the thrift store and they're high-end, they sell for a lot of money. I have a couple of kids' sunglasses like Hello Kitty. I've listed this, probably aren't going to sell for much. But if it's, a pair that I really enjoy selling and it's going to sell for good money, I think a lot of people overlook sunglasses when they go out thrifting. And the thrift stores don't mark them up, so you get them for like $1 or $2. And another thing I want to keep listing are mugs. I really enjoy listing coffee mugs. I just listed this one. Labrador Retriever. Isn't that cool? He looks so distinguished. And then it talks about them. And even though it's not going to be, I had this at like 14, I think. Oh, 16. And it's got that, and it's brand new. Here's the brand. And I just enjoy selling this stuff. So I do spend quite a bit of time in the thrift stores looking at mugs. Yeah, it's going to be £2 because this is a breakable item. So what I do with my mugs is I wrap them really good. I wrap them in cardboard, especially get the handle on cardboard because that can break off easily. If something's going to break, that's what's going to break most likely is the handle. So I wrap it in cardboard. I keep a lot of pieces of cardboard in my shipping area because I use it all the time. You know, pieces of boxes. So I just put a piece of cardboard all there. Well, first I'll bubble wrap it. Then I do the cardboard. And then I put it in a box. So yeah, that's going to be £2. So sometimes mugs sit. You know, I think it's because people don't want to pay the shipping. But I think that's going to sell eventually, and I'm fine with waiting on it. All right, so I got the clothes, the shoes, the sunglasses, the mugs, caps and hats. My hubby still loves looking for caps when we go out, so caps and hats will remain. I enjoy selling hats. Like I've sold like cowboy hats for $50 and up. And whenever I find them, or a really cool hat, like what do they call it? Like a derby hat or a cabbie cap. I like selling those kind of things. So those will remain. Probably not do plush anymore. Those tend to sit for me. If I find a high-end one, I will sell it. I'm not going to do belts. I don't enjoy selling belts because they sit. Unless it's a very high-end belt or it's a vintage belt like from the 80s and it's the chain link or something like that. I don't run across those very often. But I will sell purses. Love selling purses. I will continue to sell those. What I look for now when I go out is I look for different color purses. You know, like pink or blue or green. Those do sell well for me and sell quickly, or with a lot of colors or floral. And especially this time of year, that's a good time to sell those. So I enjoy selling purses. They do sit a while in my store typically, but I'm okay with that. I enjoy selling them. Jewelry I usually sell on my other store because it's a bundle. I sell those in bundles, and I've sold a few bundles in beach.com if you guys wanted to check it out. And I think that's going to be it. Bras. I do enjoy selling, of course, women's bras. There's no men's bras out there. I like getting the really large sizes and the ones that are colorful or really pretty, maybe have a lot of lace or just stand out by really being a pretty bra. Something, the woman can feel good about wearing, it's not just a black. I have sold some black bras and white bras. I tend to stray from those, though. I like selling, the colorful ones. Colorful sells. Color sells. So be looking for colors. So that's the niches I'm going to try and stick with. Now, it's kind of a bummer for my husband because he loves going to every aisle and getting stuff but we went to Goodwill the other day and he gets these things that I don't like, and it's a filter, it's something freaking boring. Now I don't want to list, and I feel so bad. I'm like, oh honey, I really don't want to list that, or it's not worth much money. And a lot of times he'll get something and it's like, oh, it's only $1. Well, if I can't sell it, it's not worth it to me. And I just feel bad telling him no. But he's fine. He gets it. It's still fun going thrifting with him and going sourcing. So I enjoy it when we go together. I go by myself sometimes, but I really enjoy going with him. So, I'm going to allow him to get that random item that maybe not part of my niche, but that's something he really enjoyed finding, and that it's going to sell well on eBay. I prefer it to be new in a box, And just so you know, you guys, if you look at a hard good item, something in a box, whether a game or anything, household, housewares, whatever, if it's taped up, that doesn't mean it's new. It could be that Goodwill taped it. So I carry these little knives with me. I got these online. They're great. I got like 3 of them. And see, can you see that? Yeah. So it's retractable. I got 3 of them. It was like pink, white, and blue. And I put them in various places in my house. I use these all the time. I have one in my purse. So I just take that and I cut it open. Be careful if you're flying. They're going to take that away from you. I had that at the court once. I had one of these and they confiscated it and I forgot to get it back. Anyway, so you want to cut that package open and look at it. Make sure it's new sealed items. And be careful, like games, people will put the game pieces in their own plastic bags. You know, like a Ziploc bag. So that obviously was not a new item. It's something that they repackaged. So it's all good if everything's complete and it looks new, but we've looked at some of them, they're obviously used. And we're like, oh, we were going to buy that. Thank God we dodged a bullet. But before we were doing that, I sold a couple things and I had a very unhappy customer. It's just like once or twice this happened. I'm very disappointed. This item's clearly been used. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even open the package thinking it was sealed. So from now on, I make sure we open that package and check it. That's really important. You don't want to have an angry customer that thought you're trying to get one over on them. But what I don't like is people don't give you the benefit of the doubt. They're pissed. So they're going to just yell at you, so to speak, in their message to you. And I'm like, can you give me the benefit of the doubt? I actually had no idea it was like that. I'm not trying to pass off a used item on you. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to somebody. I would just email them, say, hey, did you know that this was a used item that you sent me? But it doesn't happen like that. Usually I'm so upset, and I wasn't trying to screw you over. But people are people, and I get it. They probably have had people that screwed them over. So they're just acting from experience. I need some water. But that's what I want to talk about with you guys today, the niching. Do you want to niche down? Or do you want to keep being an everything seller if that's what you are? Or are you already niche down? Do you just sell clothing? Do you just sell shoes? Do you just sell video games or trading cards, or it can be anything really? There are people that just sell sporting goods, or Tech and Sports just sells men's clothing. Have you niched down? Let me know. Or are you thinking about doing that? I personally think it's a good thing. I'm doing it for the first time, and it's going to be a slow process for me because I'm not going to just go get rid of all my hard goods. I'm always going to have hard goods, but I'm slowly getting rid of the things that have not sold and making room for just the little I have as far as hard goods. I'm still listing hard goods. I'm trying to keep them in my niche, but as for me, for a niche will just mean that's kind of be a loose niche. For me, a loose niche. That sounds funny. And I think I'm going to really enjoy it. It's going to make listing faster, and I'm going to be able to list more, and people are going to know. Another good thing that comes with the niche, people know what to look for when Cindy sells women's clothing, let's just say. I know I can find a top at her store. So your customers can become repeat customers because they remember what you sold and they know they can get that item or like item at your store. For instance, I used to buy, I haven't in a while, but I might still buy from Lindy. What is her last name? Blank on her last name. I'll put her name on the screen, you guys. Lindy, she's got a really cool channel, and I really like her. I would recommend you check her out. And she used to sell just health and beauty items. So I decided just to order all my makeup from her and skincare, not all, but some. And she has good prices, and I love what I've received from her. She ships it super fast. She ships it, packages it very nice. Hi, Sparta. Sparta, you want to say hi to everyone? Hi. Yeah, this stuff. I found this Otagiri mug. Really pretty vintage owl mug. If you guys don't know, Otagiri's a good brand. It's upside down. I don't find it very often. Found that at Goodwill, and they only had $1 on it. Even if, I make $5, I'm happy about that policy. I don't know. I got to look it up. So you guys think about getting a niche, or niching down, as they say. Think about it. I think it might really benefit you. If you're a new reseller, I would sell everything. But if you've sold for a while, you might really want to think about, just honing in on those items you like. It should be something you really enjoy selling and something you're good at finding. You want to enjoy it. So be items that you love buying, you love, or however you acquire them, you love listing them, and you love selling them. So that'll be your niche. And obviously it'll have to be something that sells well on eBay, but eBay has got a ton of categories, so it could be almost anything. So that was what I want to talk about with you today. I hope that helped you and gave you guys some ideas, helped you think about whether you want to niche down or not. And I know this kind of went long, so I'm going to try and be kind of snipping this up a little bit. I do kind of get long-winded in my talking. Don't think I said or a lot, but I'm sure I did. Still trying to get over that habit. But I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing great. Hope you're killing it on eBay and in life. And please support my channel by subscribing if you haven't, or sharing this content, or sending me a like or a comment, letting me know if you like this kind of content. I really love and appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.